Welcome back. My name is Dan Ryan. I'm your host here on the Human Capital Connection on the Social Media Connection Broadcast Network. It's a pleasure to be with you again today. I'd like to welcome today's guest, Jay Deragon. Jay, it's a pleasure to have you back.
Thank you, Dan.
In the world of human capital, one of the things that I've talked about and talked to friends about for years is the whole concept of what we call a learning organization. Now we're in the era of social media. Tell me about how you see social media playing a role in helping organizations learn.
Wow, that's a big subject matter, but to kind of frame it, Doc Searles in 1999 wrote a book called The Clue Train Manifesto, and if anybody in the audience hasn't read it, I'd recommend it. The theme of the book was that markets are conversations. And when you think about an organization, it is a market within itself. And there are conversations going on throughout that company between employees, suppliers, employees and customers, and employees and management, and employees, the entire company, with its local market. So social media really becomes the new thread to bind all those conversations together for the purposes of advancing people's understanding of their market. And how are they going to advance it unless they learn? And what's the first step in learning? Listening. So social media provides a whole new medium for organizations to learn very quickly from conversations, and what's driving those conversations, what influences those conversations, and what are the conversations saying.
It's really interesting to hear the way you put it in perspective. I see a couple of opportunities. Obviously, there would be the internal conversation among
Correct.
coworkers, and then there would be the external conversation where someone within the organization talks to someone on the outside. Talk to me a little bit about how you would react to an organization that is trying to restrict social media and outside connections, and how that could have a negative impact on an organization's ability to learn.
That's a very good question. Actually, we're aggressively being called on right now to help organizations frame what we would call a policy for the company that says to the employees that we understand the value of social media, and now we're going to put a policy together and ask for your help in us to learn from the conversations in the marketplace, from the marketplace back to us. So organizations should shape it, and having a corporate policy is a very good guideline, because you really think about it. Most businesses have yet to fully engage in social media, but their employees are already engaged. And if the organization doesn't know what the employees are saying, it could be hurting the market they're trying to serve. And same vice versa. Your customers have employees that are having conversations. So unless a business truly engages and learns to wrap itself around these conversations, organize them, learn from them as an opportunity to say, wow, there's opportunity here to make some adjustments, make some improvements, so that we can satisfy both our external customer, but it can be done through our internal customer, our employees.
Speak to me just for a moment, and again, we're in limited time. If you were going to recommend one or two tools that an organization could employ that would help spark internal learning and external learning, what would those tools be?
Well, I'll give you an example. Best Buy, they integrated a wiki, and they also integrated an internal microblog similar to a Twitter, which is the external world we play in. And they took the wiki and the microblog and they turned it to their employees with a simple question. What could we do better to serve our customers? Well, the initial response was 5,000 suggestions. So talk about a company learning from the people on the front line who deal with the customers every single day. Having a simple wiki within your organization or an internal microblogging platform will ignite conversations to the betterment of the business if leadership understands how to manage this, how to facilitate it, and how to properly engage.
It's really interesting you bring that up, because as you were talking, I was thinking an organization that is going to be open for that level of communication has to be one that's very mature, very open, and very willing to listen both to the good and to the bad.
Correct.
And I think for some organizations that could be a challenge, but I think you mentioned Best Buy. Again, I think to me the proof is in the pudding. Best Buy seems to be doing very well. And if you read the newspapers, one of their chief competitors, Circuit City, no longer exists.
Correct. And any business is about conversations. It's about relationships. And the power of social media is to take the conversations and enhance the relationships. So if a business isn't paying attention, they're missing out big time.
Jay, it's really been enlightening to hear more about how social media can play a part in learning within an organization, because especially with the demographics in our society, during the next 10 to 15 years, we're going to have a tremendous brain drain. Any way that we can capture that intellectual capital is going to be a positive both now and in the future. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, Dan.
Again, I'm your host, Dan Ryan, on the Human Capital Connection on the Social Media Connection Broadcast Network. Thanks for being with us here again today. I look forward to having you with us on the next show.